Alright folks, my name is Freyn and today I'm going to be doing another replay. I do wish I had an alternative for this one, but unfortunately due to the state of my ever-aging hard drive, there's not much that can be done with this. So we are going for the replay, but it's not only the format that I dislike, it's also the vehicles I was driving at the time. This is the Type 61 Japanese medium tank at 6.7, and it's in a lineup with the Type 60 SPRG, the STA2 and the STA1. And considering how much it doesn't really fit my playstyle, it's probably not a good sign that the Type 60 SPRG is actually my favourite of all those vehicles. But we're on Kursk, and starting out here, just trying to take shots at this this little BMP driving across the field. I've got heat FS loaded, so all I need is a hit, and we get the whole break there. I do know the range to the other side of this, so I pretty much always start Kursk with a bit of sniping. It's one way for me to try and pick up a few quick early kills if I can, and that can greatly impact the game later on. So there's some movement on the far edge. I've not had the best accuracy so far this game, and I am a bit concerned about the sheer size of my turret showing over the ridge, so we're dropping back between shots and just trying to look for targets. Yak Tiger spotted. Take the shot. There goes his transmission and he's on fire. Need to aim a little bit higher, try and get his gun crew out, make sure he can't return the shot. There goes the gunner, and he's burnt down and died. So, kill number 2. More targets moving down the ridge. I'm not super confident about hitting them on the move like this, especially when they disappear behind trees and I lose track of them. Just grazing the underside of one there. Next target spotted, and we have a Yak Panther, so fire off a shell, just under the gun, managed to get his driver, not got his transmission or his gun crew again though. Second round, that gets rid of the transmission and the gunner, so he's popped smoke. Fortunately I'm already back into view, have my crosshair lined up. It's not ideal staying visible like this, but if I want to be able to finish the Yak Panther, I have to. I can't back off between shots or I will lose my target. Of course, through the smoke the Yak Panther couldn't shoot back at me, even if he did have a gunner, but there were plenty of other people, such as this IS-6 over here, who could have taken the shot while I was static in... oh, not in the open. Static and exposed. I've got heat FS and it can get through his upper plate at any distance, so I'm not too worried about this. There goes his gunner and commander. Backing up a little bit, making it a bit harder for me to land a second round. But there we go, coming back into view again. And we'll just finish him off with a final shot. Smoke is one of those things that it's a bit selfish really, but one of the things that I dislike that's been added to the game in the past year. Mostly because I've noticed lately my performance is certainly not what it used to be, and I've come to the conclusion that smoke is one of the larger culprits for that, as it often prevents me from being able to follow up a crippling shot with a kill one, or things like that Yak Panther where I had to stay exposed to do it. I do think it's good that it adds some extra tactical elements to the game, but it's yeah, certainly something that I found has affected me in a negative way. That's a completely different thought process and separate from this battle though, so we'll go no further with that. I'm moving up right now down the field. See a Lorraine down here, so fire off the first shot. Let's take his breach and reload to the APHE shell, the one that would have been preferable to have loaded straight away, and take him down. So, kill number 5, but that's where my Type 61 ends, as T-44-100 has already rushed across the field and got a shot into my flank. And so respawning into the Type 60. Not a vehicle I ever really expected to enjoy, and one that I actually for a long time figured I would never play. But my playing habits have changed a little bit, and I'm a bit more open to these silly things now than I used to be. Main reason I never wanted to play this in the past was it doesn't feel like it's particularly useful towards winning the game to me. It can get kills, it can perform, but you would pretty much always be better in something else. It's got no armor, it's only got 10 rounds, it's not really got the most reliable ammunition, and due to your scope being, or rather your crosshair being between the barrels, it's not always going to be accurate. Now you may have noticed I've turned off markers for this replay. That's something I never used to do, but I have been requested to do so, and it does get a bit confusing watching it back occasionally when I see a tank like that Centurion and think, how did I miss him? And then I remember it's actually a teammate sat there. But pushing back towards my previous position where I died, the T-44-100 has been picked off by a friendly. We've got a lot of friendlies, if you look on the minimap, pushing out across this field. We've managed to stop what was capping B, and we're moving on to cap A. So things are looking pretty good. And I'm hopefully, if I sit just behind this ridge, I can defend B as the game goes on. That's how I like to play these battle modes most of the time. I like to defend. It's not always preferable, it depends on the map, but certainly on Kursk I would rather play the defense. So pushed out here, and something's just been lit up right in front of me. Just on the other side of this ridge I can see gun smoke, more than one, and we have a pair of T-44s. So I've got two recoilless rifles, which allows me two quick fire shots in case I make a mess of my first one like that. That's 144 down, and the second as well. I've barely driven this vehicle, and you can see I don't have fire extinguishing yet, so I'm not quite used to the zoom or the trajectory on the shells yet. Still working out in terms of how high I need to aim. But that's where the two guns comes in handy. Although also a reason why I'm not particularly fond of meeting them, although I certainly prefer meeting a Type 60 to meeting the Ontos, as that's two chances. So if you or your opponent, if it's something you're driving into, misses that first shot or doesn't fully cripple you, they can just hit the fire button again and instantly follow it up with another one. So it gives you second chances. It's also why I'm not particularly fond of meeting any of these French autoloaders with their now reduced down to 4-second reload. It's just a little too forgiving in my opinion. Takes out quite a bit of the fun from the game for me when you encounter someone and they completely mess up, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter if they mess up. But again, thought for another time perhaps. So still pushing forwards. My team has now completely evaporated from the map. We've got a few guys recapping the B point. Everybody except one who went over to A is now dead. All the people who went through the centre of the map are now dead. Everyone who pushed up across this field towards their spawn, they're all dead. And it's suddenly looking a lot less like victory. So I can't push up any further really. I've just got to stay here, lurk and try and make sure they don't get to our cap. It's not an ideal vehicle for this map as it's a big map and I've only got 10 ammo. If I miss or don't kill them, that's really going to hurt my chances in the long run. But we can see here, a little machine gun moving along the ridge. I'm certainly aware there's a tank there, an IS-2, and I don't want to be wasting more ammo than I need to, so although you can't see it in the replay, I am range finding him. That's why I pointed the crosshair straight at him. First shot, little low, clips his track. Second one, side of his turret and takes him out. And that's more like the Hesh that we used to have in terms of performance. Currently, most of the Hesh in the game acts like that, except for the ones on the British 105mm guns. They do not have an explosive type specified in the files, meaning they do not have that external explosion effect. It causes them to be rather weak. The only British Hesh that actually does work properly is the one on the AVRE. But again, thought for another time. The enemy has now completely removed all of our presence at the A point and is starting to recap it. So I know there's at least one enemy over there and I want to head over, see if I can deal with that. I've only got 5 ammo. There is artillery falling, so I'm thinking somebody knows where I am and I'd like to get into some of these bushes behind some buildings and try and hide. Now in the replay I saw the player who did it. I saw when they spotted me, when they started heading towards me. In the battle I didn't notice. I can't see what's on A. I can see roughly where, but not clear enough to take the shot, not with this low ammo count. I'm just trying to reposition a bit. And yeah, I should have been listening a little more intently. Again, I heard the engine when watching the replay. I didn't hear it during the battle due to having music on. This is T-34-85. One of the T-44s that I killed earlier, in fact, and also in a squad with the IS-2 as well. So there was always quite a large danger I was going to be chased down eventually. So on to spawn number 3 now. I really wanted to try and win this game. I've got 8 kills. I don't want to let it slip away now. So we're back out into the STA-2. My STA-1 is in a better condition. It's fully spaded out and it has the heat rounds. And, more to my liking, it also has a 50 cal on top. The STA-2, on the other hand, this one gets slightly better frontal armour, but is far uglier in my opinion, as well as lacking that 50 cal that I really like. There's a T-34-85 in the town somewhere, and I'm not very fond of the idea of going in and trying to find him, given how thin my armour is. So, coming back to my original spot, up on this hill, I'm just going to sit and wait, keep an eye on anything headed to B. If in doubt, defend. It's a simple task. The tickets aren't that different, we're fairly close. But I've spotted the T-34. A few bushes in my way, he spotted me. And I just got the shot off in time. I kill number 9 and I know that threat's gone. Interesting that he chose to push straight at the spawn after taking me out, but obviously just wanted to come and stop me getting back into the map. Our team is at this point mostly pushing back up away from the B point. So now that I'm under the impression the town is clear, for now at least, I'm going to move over and see if I can get some shots onto whatever it was that was recapturing the A point before. They can't have moved too far. Keep an eye on that minimap, keep an eye on how the game is flowing, and see if I can work out where the enemies are going to be. I've said here that defense is, you know, a good fallback option if you don't really know what else to do. It's not always the case. If your tickets are really far behind, you can't afford to sit and wait. That's, you know, the enemy's priority. You do need to push forward and try and thin their numbers. Unfortunately, we've just lost a Centurion 3 right in front of me, so I'm a bit reluctant to expose myself. I don't know where the Panther 2 is, and I'd really rather not suffer the same fate. So, very cautious, sort of slowly creeping my way up for the next few minutes, so we'll skip ahead a little bit. Well, it's been almost 3 minutes of slowly pottering around here, trying to find where my opponents are, trying to play it cautiously. Unfortunately, my team not choosing the same path. We've lost at least another 3 players on this side of the map, and another 2 who tried to attack the A point. But I found the Panther 2. He's outside of my rangefinder range, so I'm taking a guess. 1.2 kilometers. Landed just a little short, so add another 100 meters or so. A little bit too far. And third time's the charm. Well, finally, starting to pull back a bit. That should be all their defenders at the A point down. We've got an anti-aircraft over there. Hopefully he can start getting decap and maybe drawing a bit of attention over there. I, on the other hand, am going to go back and make sure that nothing gets to B, because I am the only one on this side of the map, or remotely close to this side of the map. If I start trying to go to A and they go for B, that's a long way back. So what I'm looking for is something that can cover me but still allow me to see, and this house fits the bill quite nicely. I can just about see around the sides, I can see over it if I tilt my camera properly, but they won't be able to see me. However, they have started capping B, the thing I was most afraid of, and before I can start heading down there, there is something coming. Attempting to use the sight distance control to drop a shot over the ridge. Didn't work out very well, but that's an IS-2 coming towards me. I don't know if he knows I'm here. That shot might have given me away, but I need to take care of him before I can start heading down to B. There's no question on that. He's just seen me. Thankfully managed to get the shot off in time. Through the turret front. Kill number 11. We're losing yet more people at A, but I can't worry about that now. I have to get to B. I think you can see why I chose to go for this particular game today for a video. It's so much back and forth across the map. The battle itself has completely sort of changed hands multiple times as to which team is on top. And it really is just a long, hard slog to try and get this under control. There goes another player on the way to A. We're rapidly running out of teammates. Now, I could probably have shot into B a bit earlier, but don't want to stop in the middle of the field. So I'm trying to keep my eyes on that ridge while I move into a slightly better position. There's a plane strafing whoever's on B, so I know roughly where to look. He's got his back end stuck out from behind the building. I don't know why he chose that particular spot to cap. There's much better spots, more dense buildings, denser bushes, so many places he could have hidden. I'm not going to recap it. I don't want to be sat there for sort of 2 minutes-ish. Especially when it's now down to just me, an anti-aircraft, and a plane. I've got a lot of tough times ahead if I want to try and pull this one back. So it's back off into the town. That'll give me the possibility to shoot towards A, reasonably quick access to get back towards B if needed, and a good line of sight across these open fields. Although it's something I've never really thought about before, there is a slight bit of map imbalance there, and the fact that the A point can be, well, if I was on the other side, I could defend the A point from the centre of the map quite comfortably without having to go anywhere. I can just shoot into it, whereas to defend B I have to drive back down the hill. It's not a huge imbalance, but it's enough to make a difference. But no time to dwell on that now. Just noticed there, Panther sticking around the corner a little bit. I don't know if he saw me. Just trying to keep him in my camera view as I advance. I should really lock the turret, which I did do eventually, but initially that could have been quite bad if he decided to peek. Pretty sure he hasn't seen me. Gonna try and take a guess shot through the building. Once I'm confident that I've got enough angle to actually hit the side. Missed, I'm not 100% sure how. I think my shot went too high. He shouldn't be able to see me, although he's got a decent idea where I am. And I think my shot went through his machine gun port. It didn't look like it was the side. Very lucky either way, but it did take him out. And I found the player who's now on A as well. Just need him to de-angle a bit. Completely forgot the range from the previous shot. That's my stupidity. And once again over the top, but I've got his attention now. And I suddenly find myself wishing I was in the STA-1 where I have that Heat FS round. Because I can't do a thing to him if he's facing me. I'm just trying to distract him and maybe hope against hope that I manage to hit his cupola. At least he's turned towards me. Maybe that medium who's creeping up on his side can get rid of him while his focus is in another direction. And I'm going to go for a reposition. It's been an absolutely grueling game and has ended up in a much longer video than I anticipated when I thought, yeah, well, we'll use that battle. Completely forgot how long games can be. M46 has killed the Tiger 2. So A is clear and there is a hope. We're running out of time though. 2 minutes left. I'm not sure we can cap in that time. Maybe if I rush over to help we can cap fast enough. It's going to be extremely close either way, and at this stage of the battle we were 100 tickets behind, so really the quickest way to try and ensure this is just to get a kill. And we're capping, so the likelihood is anyone left on their team is either going to be hiding knowing that they're ahead on tickets or going to try and stop the cap. If they stop the cap, then they know they win. That's one of the two remaining enemies. That plane just been shot down. So at the moment it's looking like it's going to be a draw unless I can find something to shoot. Well, it's been one very long, very drawn out game. It's really close. Honestly, at the start I thought we had this completely under control. We had so much of the map covered with our players. We had so many people on their cap, but I think we just got a little too greedy and started pushing a bit too far. Too close to their spawn, and too many people trying to just rush onto the cap without checking it was safe. And it all fell apart, as it has just right now. Once more, there's that Tiger 2 that I can see just taken out the M46, putting us once more 100 tickets behind. I do have a nice side shot though, which failed to penetrate. I don't know, I think that looked like it was de-angled enough. But had that shot connected properly, or that one just there on the side of his turret, that would have put us onto a draw. I mean, it's still basically a loss, but in the end, we're 100 tickets behind. So close after such a long game. That's absolutely gutted, because I really felt like I put a lot of work into that one, and I just would have been nice to have just squeezed out the victory right at the end. But never mind, that is the end for today, finally. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you next time.